Well, joining us now to talk about this further is Montgomery Toms, who's a freedom campaigner. Montgomery, good afternoon. It's good to see you. Look, we were sold this on the basis, or we are being sold this on the basis that this is the magic pill that will stop the boats coming across the channel. Are we buying it, though?
No, absolutely not. And as it was just mentioned, almost 3 million people have signed the petition against it, as I think you said, yourself included.
Yeah.
It's actually quite difficult to get people to sign a petition, as easy as it is to do. Most people can't be bothered. So to get that kind of number just gives you a bit of an idea as to how the public are responding here. But you also mentioned mission creep. And, we saw back in kind of 2021 as well, kind of vaccine passports and vaccine mandates. And this is something that I fought against a lot, because it introduces a papers, please culture that we don't have in Britain. And Tony Blair tried to introduce them. That failed. And then we had ID cards during the war. Winston Churchill then said, no, but this is anti-British. It was an emergency measure. We're going to kill it. We're going to get rid of it, because that's not how we operate. So we've gone from, this is going to stop the boats, which no one took seriously, to now this kind of the C word that always gets dropped, convenience. And then now talking about newborn babies. And then they have the audacity to say that a mission creep is somewhat of a conspiracy. Well, it's not, is it? Because in the space of just a few months, you've managed to go from illegal migration to now babies and convenience, and we just don't need it. I can't name a single genuine benefit for having a digital ID, apart from, in their eyes, tracking us, monitoring us, surveilling us, and bringing in more of this sort of authoritarian top-down approach to what used to be a free country. This will be weaponized when it comes to free speech, attacks on free speech, in regards to kind of net zero and ULEZ and where we go, and carbon credits. The application of authoritarian measures when it comes to a Brits card and digital ID is endless. And we get called a conspiracy theorist for saying this, but it's simply not true.
No, I mean, I've been looking at the social credit system in China, which already there are some things in there that you recognise, and one of them is putting your tax payment records on your digital ID. Well, China already do that. Environmental and your behaviour with, as you're saying, with your travel being listed. So that ties into a lot of what China's doing as well about you being a good citizen. Rewards for not travelling to begin with, and then rewards for not attacking the government, which is what China is doing. So you can easily see the doors that will be left ajar by any British ID system and where that leads to. And there's no way on this earth anyone would say that China is a free society.
Well, you're absolutely right. It's funny because, even the lockdown measures, we replicated and copied China straight away on that front as well.
They're perfect to look at for what we don't want.
I know. China's meant to be kind of the opposite of Britain, and yet we seem to be quite obsessed with copying what they have to do. I mean, we've got all the infrastructure for a social credit system. In London, we are more surveilled in London than any other city in Europe. So all we need to bring forward a version of a social credit system is a digital ID. It ties it all together, especially with taxing. I mean, I heard recently that I need to do a bit more digging into this, that even in regards to crypto, we've now got to...
Yeah, the taxman's are all over that now, yeah.
Because one of the few private methods of looking after your money, the taxman wants to know about it. We are taxed constantly, and now they're looking at kind of digital banking as well, linking that in to your digital ID, where we've got to confess our tax on a quarterly basis instead, automatic tax deduction out of your bank account. Since when? Now, I still regard myself, though this word gets thrown around in a very negative way, as a traditional liberal, individual freedom. And that just seems to be completely unrecognizable these days. And as a young guy, I'm very terrified for the future of my country. You just can't do anything without being throttled, but by surveillance, by being monitored and watched, whether it be through CCTV, digital IDs, biometric surveillance. I'm so exhausted by it. And there's also the kind of mandated aspect to it. We're now being forced to have this as well. There's not even a choice involved.
Well, like you said, they're rolling out, Montgomery, the whole facial ID without any legal structure around that there's no legal structure. People don't realise this, that even private companies are using facial recognition technology, and there is absolutely no protection for anybody who is wrongly identified, and everyone's just going, well, you know, they know where I am anyway because of my phone. They know where I am anyway. They know what I spend my money on anyway because of my, you know, I'm using cards online. What is your argument? What is your argument to if I've got nothing to hide, I've got nothing to fear?
Well, I would easily point you in the direction of, in regards to facial recognition, of the multiple accounts where people have been pulled aside by Metropolitan Police, where facial recognition has been rolled out, and wrongfully arrested.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
It's as simple as that. And not to mention this idea of, oh, we've got nothing to hide. How many occasions over the past 5 years specifically, even under a Tory government, have we seen the police act inappropriately? And what they consider wrong, I really don't consider wrong, such as putting tweets up online, such as mixing in a crowd of more than 2 people back in the lockdown days. You know, I have a friend who's got on his wall an arrest certificate from where he was actually arrested and put in a cell because he was mixing in a crowd of more than 2 people. It's the most Orwellian dystopian thing, and it's just incredible that this happened. And people seem to forget that governmental overreach and the police acting not in a lawful way, you know, that's very, very possible. So the idea, you may think that you're not doing anything wrong, but the police may think very differently. And we've not even touched on data breaches. People don't even realise that the centralisation of your data, the amount of danger involved there, the one login system, which really ties, that is a form of a digital ID. It's essentially, if people don't know what that is, I'll try to be as quick as possible, but essentially if you want to log into DVLA, HMRC, Companies House, now you're expected to go through a one login system, which is a centralised login process, which is being kind of transferred into the first form of digital ID, which 8 million company directors are being phased into bit by bit as we speak. And what people don't know is that this technology also was not invented in Britain. It's Romanian technology, and when it has been tested and gone through red team tests, they found that it can be hacked in without even being noticed. That is what is holding your data together, and that is what is being used as the bridge and the stepping stones to complete mandated digital IDs. So we're not conspiracy theorists, we're just rational.
Listen, I'm just really thrilled, Montgomery, to see somebody of your age, because I was concerned that a lot of people are being groomed, if you like, from a very early age now to give up everything, give up their entire privacy. So when they get to their mid-20s, they're just going, oh, well, it's no problem, I've done that my whole life. So I'm just glad to see that there are people like you fighting this from that end. I'll keep doing it from my old lady end.
Appreciate that.
If you keep doing it from the young persons, we might be able to win this. Good to talk to you, Montgomery.
Thank you so much for having me on. Have a lovely day.
Really enjoyed that. Thank you. Montgomery Toms there, freedom campaigner.